are now retiming the usual DP24 in Focus live session starting 28 August 2020. DP24 in Focus live session on DP24 Gtv on Facebook Watch will be retimed into 2000 hours, 8 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Meanwhile, DP24 on Reflections will be retimed also to 2100 beginning tomorrow. EasyFilipino will be broadcasting live over DP24 Gtv YouTube channel beginning 25th August 2020. Mapping 101 Thursdays will still at the usual 1900 hours, 7 p.m. Thursday programming. The retiming will serve a new opportunity for more learning experience, better programming content, and interactive content. DP24 Radio will upload most of the replays coming from DP24 in Focus live session and DP24 on Reflections, both in condensed format. Good news! Metro Express P2P buses will head you straight from the Island Park down to Star Mall Alabang and Trashea in Makati City starting 24th August 2020 from 5:30 onwards. As such, for your safety and protection, always wear your face mask and face shield. Good evening everyone, and this is your one and only dear Paul for this wonderful DP24 on Reflections. And of course, I would like to apologize for the 35-minute delay from the usual 2100 hours, 9 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. And in this episode, now that I have to share that testimony that I have got from the pre-recorded episode of, or should I say, from the pre-recorded episode of AWJPxSOS Bible Study session, plus the bonus one from the EVEolution Team. So without further ado, let's listen to this message. What I have been going to right now is that There's all sorts of sufferings that I have been getting through in the form of the previous bullying incidents, and even led into disaster that I can even easily handle it by my own. But it was like I'm begging to the Lord that please free me from all of those distress that I have been through. That it was happened way back May 2016. The cyberbullying disaster that hit not only my work as a person, but also as a, student as well, that supposedly you have to study for a certain future that might bring us into the work of our knowledge and wisdom. But I have no choice but to, undergo hiatus from June 2016 all the way until April 2017. It was like a 10-month hiatus. And during that time, there's anxiety, depression, and even insecurities that come along the way. I have tried taking medicines, but to no effect. Upon my return to studies at 2017, which is April, I have found, or should I say, I got surprised on what God has planned for me. It was like, why is there a religious gathering inside the cinema screen? For me, while I'm nearing to the inside cinema 2, which is the feast, I got surprised that the ongoing Holy Mass, apologies for those attending CCF here, my CCF friends, pardon me, but I got surprised that Holy Mass right inside. I have no choice but to observe the way that I would like, going into the church in a usual way. But then, after the Holy Mass, what I am expecting is that everyone should go for the usual family or friends or something like that. But to my surprise, there's a praise and worship and a powerful talk that I got struck. And besides, I have met already with my friend from, not only that I I became classmate with him way back NSTP 2013. But he's also into the media. Of course, the following week, the quote from Brother Bogs Borbos that I got struck is that don't just sit there, just serve. This is where the turning point of my life, that I have to serve ultimately, not only as a media ministry servant, but also for the God's glory as well, and as a God's powerful champion. Fast forward to certain anniversaries that I have been through, even though I have lost some items like the ID and the fare cards, but God has a plan for me to be surprised on what the outcome would do. There's a replacement, and might as well, God has a way for not only for me but for others to serve the Lord as well with the occupation. And besides, I have attended also the Kerygma conference, which is now in 2020 as FEAST conference. The first Kerygma conference is at 2018, which is entitled Limitless. And the 2019 is the Brave. Whereas on the Limitless, I have found so many friends coming from the other feast somewhere else in the Philippines and across the globe, uniting together to give praise and thanksgiving. And then the first one is actually the youth conference, the 2-day pass. And the 2019 is that there's a turning point once again. This is where I got inspired. That third class last Thursday, 21st November 2019, entitled Building Self-Esteem on Solid Foundation, or should I say the whole title, Meet Yourself, a Guide to Building Self-Esteem on Solid Foundation, which is led by Sister Joyce Spring on the live class. It was like I should give it a shot, and of course I have to bravely ask a question. But first, it was like I'm getting nervous because it's my first time to ask a question in public, but might as well. I have asked her for the advice for those bullied students, and it was like try to But before the recording of the
That's why I need to
episode
open
2 to continue, let me share the tomorrow's Bible reading for our dear Catholic friends. The following Bible verses: Isaiah chapter 22 verses 15, 19 to 23, Psalm 138,
it got
138 verses 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 6 and 8. Romans chapter 11 verse 33 to 36, and Matthew chapter 16 verse 13 to 20. If you're attending the feast,
what I have been told.
you will hear the following verses coming from the book of Matthew, the best preaching ever, entitled, and of course, DP24 on Reflections will be back after these reminders. We are now timing the usual DP24 in Focus live session starting 28 August 2020. DP24 in Focus live session on DP24 Gtv on Facebook Watch will be retimed into 2000 hours, 8 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Meanwhile, DP24 on Reflections will be retimed also to 2100 beginning tomorrow. EasyFilipino will be broadcasting live over DP24 Gtv YouTube channel beginning 25th August 2020. Mapping 101 Thursdays will still at the usual 1900 hours, 7 p.m. Thursday programming. The retiming will serve a new opportunity for more learning experience, better programming content, and interactive content. DP24 Radio will upload most of the replays coming from DP24 in Focus live session and DP24 on Reflections, both in condensed format. Philippine Standard Time 21:51, 9:51 p.m. We are now timing the usual DP24 in Focus live session starting 28 August 2020. DP24 in Focus live session on DP24 Gtv on Facebook Watch will be timed into 2000 hours, 8 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Meanwhile, DP24 on Reflections will be timed also to 2100 beginning tomorrow. EasyFilipino will be broadcasting live over DP24 Gtv YouTube channel beginning 25th August 2020. Mapping 101 Thursdays will still at the usual 1900 hours, 7 p.m. Thursday programming. The V-timing will serve a new opportunity for more learning experience, better programming content, and interactive content. DP24 Radio will upload most of the replays coming from DP24 in Focus live session and DP24 on Reflections, both in condensed format. Okay, and I'm back. Of course, just a short notice that some of the testimonials would be more like of having a sensitive topic because of the real life experience that I have been through. But anyways, hello to FEASTatHOME Dasmarinas family, also AWJPxSOS podcast family, EVEolution Team as well, and also I'm going to go back into this rest of the testimonials that I have made earlier on a pre-recorded format. So please stand by. Let me say this with you, that insecurities would lead also to bullying disasters. That's why she says you must understand that hurt people hurt, and a concept that they think not a lot of people would say is to show grace to them. And of course, is a way for showing grace, not only for me but also for all of us friends, brothers and sisters, that showing grace to people who don't deserve it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you become close to them or become friends, though there's a possibility. And we must not allow any sort of retaliation. Only protection is that God offers to us. Of course, she says, remember that whatever those bullies are doing or saying to you, whatever they are berating you with, then she would say that you are not those things. Hence, I've been so grateful that though I wasn't able to take a photo with her, but I'm so very grateful that everything else, especially from the adulthood times or the Christian times or the Catholic times, that we have to come with the intention of praising and worshiping God the Almighty Father, and that Bayan de Kerigma Conference 2019. Now, there's so much more things to offer that I have been into Bible study during this pandemic. I have been a participant on the mapping sessions and being a servant likewise, that I'm always very grateful. And even I have attended the online classes that would promote self-esteem and even God's will. And might as well, forgiveness is the key for us into the salvation. And after that, I have joined when I have listened to the, Shut Up Sanity segment that I have been listening to the podcast, then it was like for me to join into this group, AWJP and SOS podcast members, and I have even joining also the webinar that, to my surprise, those coaches or life coaches that they are promoting also the self-worth and even other life lessons. And that's why I have to, be grateful on what I have learned a lot. Without God, all of these things would not be possible. And I'm very grateful that even though there's some sort of things that we have to improve more on, just keep on learning and keep on growing. And of course, I'm so grateful that I become a part of the admin and moderator of this group or the family itself, that everything else will be very possible. Only God's will. Only God's will, not ours. And that concludes the testimony. And of course, as you heard this right, I'm so very grateful that I become a part of not only the FEASTatHOME Dasmarinas family, AWJPxSOS podcast family, but also, I would like you to listen to the part of the record that entails the self-learning experience that I have been through. This time around, it's on the EVEolution Team that I'm also grateful for. Of course, before I proceed, shout out to the FEASTatHOME Dasmarinas family, AWJPxSOS podcast family, and even my classmates, professors from my beloved university, the Lyceum of the Philippines University, Cavite Campus. Of course, shout out also to our fellow vloggers, podcasters, and media ministry servants across the churches, and EVEolution Team as well. Also the AWJPxSOS, shout out to you as well, including Coach Ras, Coach Yanni, Coach MJ, Coach Gio, and all the coaches right there. Before I have landed into the EVEolution Team, let me say this to you that on the unexpected promotion of the Ichikahan episode with Coach Yanni, if I remember this properly, I was that surprised that the Saturday of May, should I say it right, is that Coach Ras, aside from Sis Joyce, is also going to speak, and also Brother Oko, if I could remember all of these details, is that I have ultimately joined into the AWJPxSOS team for me to, learn something not only for our financial life but also for our personal life. And before that, I have used the 5 STC discipline methodology so as to perform most of the cleanup task right in the classroom. Plus, I have wanted to, improve the system that is needed badly. I'm so sad that after the class, most of my classmates and even students would tend to leave it unattended, leaving those pieces of litter and even misarranged chairs. But it's the 5S discipline that it's working right now. Also, it continued already, especially times of pandemic disaster. Then 5S discipline, it becomes discipline or discipline. Oh my goodness me. Bliss plus discipline equals discipline. Without further ado, please stand by for the next recorded segment, which is from the EVEolution Team, and it's my personal opinion only, or personal statement likewise, so please stand. There's something wrong with my heart that led me into depression or anxiety and uncertainties, but lo and behold, that I am able to learn so many things midway. Especially I was able to join into this group, and besides, I have a mission to serve the people and study more, so that I could be very equipped with the right knowledge, wisdom, and skills that are needed, especially if at the right time comes that I would be not only a fully fledged civil engineer or other occupation, but might as well I could be a very good business person to come and so with the right, or should I say with the right time to come, that everything would be a much better place to live in. Of course, that was the pre-recorded testimonials and statements that I have made so as to, I'm not bragging into anything, but I'm humbly request to all of you guys to pray for me. Might as well that I could reach the goal of being a graduated student. And sad to say that the second part of the recording is not possible, but if I could reflect on for what could it be done is that, guys, this would be a raw live session, but anyways, if I could say this one is that not everyone could, see our work, intrinsic value, and everything else that self-esteem is needed right now. And I'm so very grateful that from March 2020, you know what, 3rd March 2020, I have met a lady who's then working as a team leader at a supermarket. Now she's working in BGC, if I could say it right. Hopefully, after these trying times, that we could meet again, probably hanging out a bit or dating with anyone else, especially my friends from or group chit chat with my colleagues from the Feast Media Ministry, plus dating with my special someone. Of course, what I have inclined into the 3 house minutes that I become anti-fragile, and you know what? Not only the Feast has this logic, but also a plus quest as well, that we should let go of something that are hurtful, and we should be open to any sort of vulnerabilities to whom we trust. Also, salute to all of our dear frontliner friends, especially on the medical, market, and media. Also the safety and security personnel, police and military, and guys, you have been working so effortlessly just to protect the nation against this coronavirus disease that resulted into deaths and even critical severe cases. But hopefully, if time goes by that I have graduated, I might as well that even though it sounds crazy, but I might have to venture into engineering jobs, including the construction and quality control, soil investigation, plus selling on some sort of insurances like plans, memorial plans, and everything else, and might even considering a dating, and of course, if you could ever listen to this podcast or live session, this is for you. To my dear future or soon to be girlfriend and wife, as time passes by, I'm just waiting for the right time to love someone like you. And even though I have some sort of difficulties that I have been through these rough times, that even though I have some sort of disabilities, that love will prevail, and also love will find a way. I might expect some sort of surprises, moments, memories that would flourish it out. And even a collaboration once we become together. The panliligawan style that I have been considering, and of course to have a laughing person that I have to spend for the rest of my life as well. Also, thank you very much for a gentle reminder that I should be taking care of my health as well. Guys, if you're wondering on what I have to speak, is that as a regular student, I have been through such carrying of heavy bag, and she's been worried about it. And that concludes Dear Paul on Reflections live session. Be safe, be well, stay sane, you are loved. Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams, and I love you.